Welcome to CSN, the Network Podcast. This is your host, Kayvon Cutler, with my lovely co-hosts, Dree Nazario and Malik Hampton. How y'all doing this lovely afternoon?
I'm doing good, man. Blessed and highly favored, as Dree would say.
Y'all know, blessed and highly favored. Blessed and highly favored.
Yeah, man.
How you, brother?
I'm blessed. I can't complain one bit. It's football season. You know what I'm saying? We just had the fantasy draft last night, so football is full swing now. You know what I'm saying? Got my Alabama boys, you know what I'm saying? We came out this past weekend, put on the show for everybody. I'm just excited. It's looking like we're going to repeat, but I don't want to be too overzealous. You know what I mean? I just want to let things play out. But man, I'm super excited for football. We got NFL football starting this week. High school football already kicked off. College is officially here, so it's full swing. The best time of the year. What you think, bud?
It's the best time of the year for sure, man.
I agree.
We're gonna get college, NFL about to start up. Then, hoops start off, what I'm saying, here
in October.
You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely the best time of the year, man.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. Even though I'm a hoop head, I love, the fall time love when football season comes around. It's just a different feeling, the atmosphere.
For sure. There's something to do, bro, when you bored, you know what I'm saying?
100%. Plenty of games to choose from.
Something to watch, bro, at all times.
It's tough to date right now, though. I always like to tell people, you know what I'm saying? Could you imagine trying to fill someone out or get to know someone and their Saturdays or Sundays are just completely off now? Now,
this guy.
Silly, man.
He said football over everything, my G.
Hey, football over everything, man.
Good thing about it is you can stream football, though. You can stream this stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you can, yeah. We can't go out, but we, maybe we can have dinner in and watch the Alabama game if you don't mind.
He ain't gonna pay no attention to you, bro. You say two words that came on, he irritated while the game on. He gonna look at you like
with his phone on D&D and all
like,
that.
Do you not see what's going on? Yeah, I tried to call bro yesterday. Phone went straight to voicemail. I'm like, come on, kid.
Yeah, I just like to be locked into the game, man. My brother knows, you know what I mean? When we watch, that's why I enjoy watching football with him, because he fully understands. I don't want to be on my phone. I don't want to talk, you know what I mean? Because if something happens, then I'm going to blame it on you. Let me just watch the game and fully take in every play. And, when the game is over, we're right back to the normal world.
Hey, whatever floats your boat, my guy. I admire your dedication.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Speaking of, dedication, that was a good term to use, transitioning to, our local area sports. This is one of the things that this platform is dedicated to, is not only honoring our local legends and covering, professional and national sports, but we also want to cover, our local sports in our area, starting out with what would be presumably the game of the week with South Charleston High School versus Capital High School. My alma mater, South Charleston, we definitely handled business, beating Capital High School 42-14 this past Saturday. Man, shout out to the young man, Trey Dunn, man. He's really been, improving every year, but these past couple of years, he's really just been making a name for himself. And he continued that this past Saturday, throwing for 3 touchdowns and running for 2 more to equal 5 total touchdowns and 526 total yards. He completed 14 of 22 passes for 254 yards with 1 interception, and he also ran 12 times for 105 rushing yards. And South Charleston also had another standout performer in Emilio Miller, who missed the season opener against Morgantown, but he carried the ball 20 times for 167 yards, including a 56. So SC is now 2-0 as they look to, continue to defend their title, as they were state champions last year. And, I'm just excited for, Coach Mays and, some of the other young guys that are coming through the program, man. It's definitely looking like it's getting back to old days, you know what I mean? And I'm just glad to see the school compete and, dominate, honestly. And, not to leave Cap out, Capital showing great promise. You know, they have a new coach. You know, shout out to Coach Mason, and you know they're starting out 0-2, but I have great faith that they'll be able to turn it around. You know, that's another program with a lot of talent in the area. They was led by their quarterback, Jaquay Long, who had 208 passing yards with 1 score, and their running back, Sean James, he also led them carrying the ball 13 times for 86 yards and 1 touchdown. So that was a great game. And again, the total for that game, SC versus Capital, 42-14. SC got the win. Moving on to Huntington High School, as they dominated Hurricane High School this past Friday, shutting them out 38-0. The Highlanders, who are now 2-0, were led by their quarterback, who had a solid outing, throwing for 209 yards and 2 touchdowns, and also rushing for 124 yards with another touchdown. Their starting running back got hurt, but junior running back Marty Fielder came in and played great, man. He ran for 146 yards and 2 tutties on just 11 carries, which is, I mean, Malik knows firsthand, playing running back and receiver himself. You know, that's to do that in 11 carries is just marvelous. Huntington, you know, they face a big test next week as they travel to play the big boys, man, Cabell Midland, while Hurricane, who is now 0-2, look to bounce back next week against Drea Malik's alma mater, George Washington High School. And speaking of Cabell Midland, we had another shutout in the AAA showdown this past Friday as Cabell Midland High School beat Riverside High School 56-0, totaling over 600 total yards. Cabell Midland scored on 6 of 7 drives in the first half to propel their way to victory with Riverside. Of course, last but certainly not least, speaking of you all's alma mater, George Washington High School traveled to Ashland, Kentucky to play Ashland Paul Blazer this past Friday night, beating them 35-21. Each team balled out. They each totaled over 400 yards, but G-Dub was able to prevail and win, and they were led by their quarterback, Abe Fenwick, who threw for 343 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now, these teams I just mentioned are some of the top teams in their conference, so it was good to see these head-to-head battles. And you know, I'm just looking forward to, you know, more sports in the area, and you know, being able to cover more of the prep sports. So, you know, it was a great kickoff to the college football weekend with things that happened Friday night and Saturday night. So I'm excited to see what happens going forward, man. What you think, Lake?
Shoot, man. I mean, there's some good football being played. You know, Cabell Midland still dominating. You know, my alma mater, Dre's alma mater. You know, we went to Ashland, got another dub. I would like to see that record. You know what I'm saying? That little series we had. I know we played them for the first time my senior year.
Oh, that was your first time playing them your senior year?
Yeah, we played them for the first time my senior year, and that was back in 2011, 2012. You know, so I would like to see what the record is. I know we probably didn't beat them more times than they did beat us, for real. But yeah, glad to see that they got the win. You know, Brett throwing for 343. You know, they airing it out up there. That's tough.
It's different time, man.
South Charleston, I mean, I like to give South Charleston, you know what I'm saying, they props and they dues, you know what I'm saying. I see what kind of program, you know, May's got going on up there. But I got to give some shout outs to, you know, a couple other youngins that play for him, you know what I'm saying. I know they like to, you know, it's a quarterback driven game, you know what I'm saying.
For sure.
So, you know, the quarterback gets a lot of love, but, you know, they got some dogs up there. Lil Wayne Harris is tough,
Just about
man.
to say Wayne.
He's probably like the
Shout
most
out to
talented
Quay.
on the team. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, the Miller kid, he ain't played first week. You know what I'm saying? To come back, have 167 on the ground, that's huge.
Huge, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they got the other young bull, Dean.
I was about to say,
yeah,
he gonna be sweet.
Yeah, he can play too, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Dobbs just posted him too.
That's
I know how it goes with football, you know, and that's on all levels, you know what I'm saying? Like the quarterback gets the most attention, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to shed some light on
some of the other youngest for sure. What were you about to say, Drew, baby?
I was just gonna say Dean is Alexa's little brother.
Yeah,
Are you
Peoples, right?
serious?
Yeah, that's Alexa Peoples.
Yeah.
But
Oh man, shout out to people. Shout out her mom. You know, I love her family, man.
yeah,
I did not know that. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah. You know, their dad was really, really good in football back in the day. Quick plug, Al Dean Sr. He was really good in football back in the day. So look
Gosh.
like the young bull picking it up where he left it off.
He left off. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
That's man. I'm definitely. I mean, I was pulling for the youngin. You know, just off the strength of going to the school, but now, especially now that I know that's her little brother. You know, that's like I said. I got so much love for that fam. So yeah, man. Shout out to them, man. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. So I got a couple questions for you guys in regards to prep football. First, I want to start with that Capital SC game. Do you feel like this is a rebuilding year for Capital?
I mean, everything. It's looked like they've been rebuilding since all the youngins left, like the ones who won the state championship for real, for real. Like,
Yeah, since Kayshawn and them left, huh?
yeah, it's like, it seems like they've been rebuilding since then. I figured they'll get it right here in a few years. You know what I'm saying? Because I know they got a lot of talent, around the way that's coming up through the pipeline. So they won't be down for too long. So I would say, I guess, yes, this is another rebuilding year for them. You know what I'm saying? New coaching staff, all that. So yeah, we just gotta give them a little time. I mean, they dominated for so many years here recently, you know what I'm saying, in the past. So it's just,
Yeah, it seemed like Cap. I graduated in 2011. You graduated in 2012. I feel like after you graduated in 2012, the city was Caps.
yeah, it
Um,
definitely got over, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So
they had like a good 5 to 6 year run. If you think about it, they had Smiley, which is James Richmond. You know, shout out to bro. You know what I mean? Then Silas, then Kayshawn, there's Tyree and Terry. It was so many heads. Jordan Kenny,
Jordan, yeah.
Tyrell, rest in peace.
Um,
And they had a lot of talent on that squad.
Carrie Martin.
Raymond,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Very, they've been running it, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's only time that they have
only
a
a matter of
down
time,
year,
yeah.
man.
I mean that area, let's be frank, Shaquille and I were talking last night about some of the older guys that went to Cap, during years like 2006, 2007, 2008, when Malik Whitney and them were there. And we were just speaking on some of the talent that didn't get to play basketball and didn't get to play football. And I know you can attest to this, playing for the Dots coming up. It's so much talent in the city, like in Uptown Charleston. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
matter of just getting everybody, on the field or on the hardwood in reference to basketball and just really, shaping the talent because the city is always going to have the talent, specifically Capital High School is just, I mean,
Or
it's
in the same place for real. Like, when we started going to high school, you know what I'm saying? That's when they was letting people, like, you could go wherever you wanted to, first year of high school, you know what I'm saying?
facts.
So a lot of people split up. Like, the reason why Kayshawn and all them dominated is because they all came together, and like, so
Yeah.
it was like nobody was gonna have more talent than them. Like, but before that, people was going different places. Like Perry could have easily went to Cap, bro. Like, like
That's a fact.
it was, that's just the things. That's just I feel like that was just a little era we went through. You know what I'm saying? People was trying to go play and be the man or be the girl somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like it a lot of them didn't stick together. Stick together like they gonna compete in the state like
Yeah.
every year type joint. So yeah, it's I think that's just all it is. That's part of it too. A lot of them don't stick together once they get to the level to make their own decision.
Where it makes sense, makes sense. Moving on, did any particular athlete stand out to you guys? Or who stood out the most?
Shoot. I mean, I'll give, I haven't seen G Dub play. I'm gonna get to see him play this week, you know what I'm saying, when I go up there Friday. That quarterback, that's a nice stat line, 343, 4 touchdowns. Um, and the Miller kid from SC who missed the opener and the hop right out there 167. And like that's huge in the grand scheme of things. That's a lot of rush yards. So it sounds like he was controlling the game, you know what I'm saying, just by running it. Yeah, I get them too. They shout outs this week.
Shout out to them. What about you, Cut?
Yeah, honestly, I would go with Trey Dunn, man. Not to, come off biased or anything, but in South Charleston's first two games, the kid has 11 total touchdowns in just two games. He has 8 passing and 3 rushing. So it's looking like he's about to have one of those historic seasons, man. Kennedy watch alert, Kennedy watch alert. He's looking like he's building a strong campaign. So again, not to come off bias, but I'm just impressed with how athletic he is. That's my main thing. We got a lot of guys in the area locally that I feel like can really toss the ball, but it's just how athletic he is. Watching him against Morgantown, he's far more athletic than what people will lead you to believe. Like the tape doesn't do it justice. Like you have to catch him live, man. This kid's athletic, so I'm excited. Like I said, for the program and Coach Mays, man.
Yeah, for sure, he can play. But I'm going to shout out the youngins again, man. They playing.
For sure.
They playing ball, bro.
Shout out Wayne, man. We gotta have you up here too,
man.
Wayne's sweet.
Like people's little brother. Like I know a couple of them touchdowns he threw to Brud, he's going over top of somebody.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, bro, yeah, they got some dogs up there. Shout out to SC, man.
Shout out to them. Shout out to them. Did any particular athlete surprise you guys the most? I don't know if that's like one and the same question, but somebody you knew, you said Trey Dunn has been doing this thing for a while, but somebody that just kind of popped out the blue that, kind of surprised you guys.
Honestly, not really. If I'm being honest, I would like to say, I guess Cap's quarterback is, I haven't got to see him play, but besides his scrimmages, you know what I'm saying? I don't think he's from around here. I think he transferred in, if I'm not mistaken,
Okay.
Probably him. He's got some talent, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, they just a couple years off, so I give a shout out to Lil Jaquay Long, man.
Yeah. I would say probably that the young man Marty Fielder from Huntington High School, and like I said, just because their starting running back got hurt like in the first quarter, so for him to come in and have that level of production in basically 3 quarters and just have 11 carries and have 146 with 2 touchdowns, yeah, that
like he need to start get some carries.
Get some carries. They definitely might need to split it up a little more, but yeah, I would say that kind of caught me off guard. Like I said, that's very efficient, high level production. So,
shout out.
No, I got a question, bro. How you feel about, like, I know Kay said, SC they the defending state champions. How do you feel about how they won that joint though?
Are you asking me or Dre or both of us?
Both of y'all. They won off COVID.
Yeah. Well, so for our listeners, let's educate our listeners real fast. Where we're talking about like how, basically the season had to be forfeited because of COVID. Last year in West Virginia, and I don't want to misspeak, but if it depended, like the COVID, it went by counties.
By counties, yeah, bro.
So like if you, let's, play hypothetics, if you lived in Putnam County and, y'all were a certain color, you know what I mean? That you couldn't go to school, of course. Then your team, if you can't go to school, your team can't play. And if you can't go to school, if you can't play, then your team can't compete. Then by default, you know what I mean? You have to forfeit because y'all technically can't play. Y'all at risk. So,
it's in the record books. It ain't going nowhere. But just as a competitor, bro, like how would you feel? Like how would you go about that? Y'all, you've been a part of state championship teams, bro. So like, you know what I'm saying? You know what it takes. You know the gauntlet you got to go through, man. Like, yeah. How would you feel if, like, let's just say after your senior year, after y'all beat Hurricane, you know what I'm saying? Just had to forfeit everybody had to forfeit the rest, to play them. Of course you would take the ring. Who ain't gonna take the ring?
Right.
But does the competitor in you, like, do you want to go and test your team out for real? Go play like who they, because it's a couple teams they thought was better than SC last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we would never know because they never got to line it up.
Right.
Like, how would you feel about that? Like, as a competitor. You too, Dre. Like if they just gave you the state championship after the first sectional game, you never went to states, you know what I'm saying? Like, and there was a couple teams out there that, you know, probably had a better record or you know, you knew the talent level of those teams and you was going to get to line it up, but it never got to happen. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? How did you feel about winning a championship that way?
You want to go first, Dre, or?
Yeah, I'll go first. First I want to say shout out to that 2020 championship team. No knock to them. And this is just all hypotheticals. So my answer is kind of two-folded. Just because I know how hard it is to have like a championship type year. You feel what I'm saying? And obviously SC was having that championship type year. So I don't want to automatically assume that if they were to continue playing last year, that they wouldn't have still, you know, been the champions. You feel what I'm saying? But on the flip side, that is hard to say because you can always be like, you know, somebody was better, or if we would have got to play this team, we would have, you know, or if this team would have played this team, they would have got them, you know, got the best of them. So as a competitor, obviously you always want to play the best of the best, but also knowing that it's hard to have a championship type year, I'm taking it like shit. You know what I'm saying? We had the best record at the best time. So, I mean, that's on y'all. You know what I'm saying?
It's up there in the books, man. I just think, if I'm not mistaken, like, I'm pretty sure maybe the game against Cabell Millen got canceled in the regular season too. Like, I don't think they got to play them in the regular season too last year. If I remember correctly, I had this discussion before, you know what I'm saying? And we seen how Cabell Millen's been dominating the MSAC, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
So that's the only reason why I asked that. Because like, yeah, I've had that discussion before, you know. And of course, the youngest is gonna take it. Of course,
man, when
they
first
family gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? And I was just thinking, like, me out there, like, I want to line it up against whoever. You know what I'm saying? Whoever want to line it up. You know what I'm saying? That's how I always gave it up. So it was just, I thought that was I just wanted to see y'all's perspective on it for real.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and you know, given my background, you know, our senior season kind of got cut short because we had to, you know, forfeit our quarterfinal win because of the brawl, so to speak, that happened. However, you know, I can honestly say, you know, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but I just feel like, you know, my class, that was our senior year, you know, on behalf of our seniors, you know, it wasn't too much crying going on in the room when we got the news, you know what I mean? So with that being said, I think everyone, we had an awareness of it, but we also, you know, we don't wear it on our sleeve because we had faith in the game plan. Like, you know, prior to the news breaking, you know, we were, you know, preparing for the championship game against Martinsburg, and I had the utmost faith in the world. You know, no knock to them, but you know, like I said, not to play hypothetics, but I feel like we would have handled business. You know what I mean? We were coming off winning it back to back. Everybody knew the talent we had, how deep we were. You know what I mean? So I was, you know, we were just ready to rock. So I say that to say, you know, for the youngins, you know, of course, as a competitor, you want to go out there and prove and really earn it, so to speak, and you know, really leave it all out on the field and, you know, get it that way. But just due to the circumstances, and last year was just a weird year for everybody.
They didn't have
Last year was weird.
It really went by your county and like how many COVID cases your county had. You know what I'm saying? So the youngest really didn't have no say in it.
Yeah. So
You know
I mean, I can see, you know, because let's keep it a buck. You know, it was definitely controversial when news first broke. You know what I mean? However, you know, like I was saying, I just think it was a weird year. So the kids, you know, they should be proud. You know, when we were undefeated. You know, speaking of South Charleston, we were undefeated. So, you know, when they were on the field, nobody beat them last year. So, you know, I don't, you know, again, not to play hypothetics, but I feel like they would have kept that going, you know, against anybody. And that's just me. So, yeah.
Yeah, last year was weird in general. Shoot, I feel like everybody was just trying to figure it out. So, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, to your point, they were undefeated. So they handled business while they were on the field. So, you know, they earned it.
For sure.
They earned it.
I had I had discussions about that, bro, for real. So it was just, I just wanted to see what y'all thought.
Yeah. I had one more question to round out high school prep football. Did any game outcome surprise you all? And if so, which one?
Probably maybe Cabell Midland doing Riverside like that. I thought Riverside had a little bit more talent these days. I think they beat Cat, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, probably Cabell Midland, man. I would say. I wouldn't even say SC and Cap. I would probably say Cabell Midland doing Riverside like that. 56-0. That's kind of tough, man.
Yes.
Or Huntington, they shut out Hurricane, you know. I can't remember the last time somebody really shut out Hurricane.
Honestly, this may come off as a surprise, honestly, and we didn't discuss them. But I think the battle of the bridge between St. Albans High School and Nitro High School was the outcome that surprised me the most, and not because of it being a crazy game, but the game was only 6-3.
Oh, word.
Yes, it was only 6-3. And if y'all remember the weather on Friday, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, it wasn't that bad, you know what I mean? So that was just a low scoring defensive game.
They play on turf anyway, right? The surface ain't crazy. I mean, unless they played at Nitro. I don't know.
No, they played at St. Albans. Yeah, they was on their turf.
That's one of the best fields around. I drive past that a lot.
Yeah, man, me too. So
they got a new field.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Us being SEC fans, I know we can appreciate those defensive, slug matches. So, I just wanted to, kind of shed spotlight on, St. Albans for, winning that rivalry and, being able to have bragging rights for the Battle of the Bridge over Nitro, Dree's old stomping grounds.
Shout out to Nitro. Huh?
Were they the Wildcats?
Yeah, Nitro Wildcats. Shout out to Nitro. I used to wear did I have the LeBrons when I played in Nitro? Them joints was tough. The red and black. I loved it. I love that red and black. You could do anything with them colors. Yeah, I think I had the LeBrons. Shout out to Nitro. Who'd you say won, bro?
St. Albans.
St. Albans. Okay.
I always like St. Albans. I like the helmets. I didn't necessarily like the uniforms when we was coming up. But I like the helmets, though, the white helmets with the red dragon on it. We can do some things with that as far as accessory wise. Seeing how Dree talking about, her swag on the court.
Right.
Looking at football teams too, man.
We're going to transition right into college football. First on the docket, we got Alabama versus Miami. Give me y'all's recap.
First and foremost, man, roll Tide. You know what I mean? We handle business, man, beating Miami 44-13, led by a star quarterback. He was a number one dual threat quarterback coming out of high school, Bryce Young. And a lot of people, man, if you know anything about the recruiting circuit, this kid was just bound to be special. He was special in high school. And, I'm just happy to see him continue that performance, that high level of play into college. He's a true sophomore. He went 27-38 for 344 yards with 4 touchdowns. Running back, normally people are accustomed to Alabama having that dominant running back, you know what I mean, with a couple solid, running backs that are also in the running back room. But, we pretty much did a running back by committee, Trey Sanders, who was the number one running back coming out of his class in 2019. He scored, had a tutty. But our leading rusher was actually Brian Robertson Jr., who had 12 carries for 60 yards. And, we was also, believe it or not, led in receiving by Ohio State transfer. And I seen Malik tweet about him. His name is Jameson Williams. He had 4 catches for 126 yards, 1 touchdown, former O State player. He entered the portal and we got him, man. You know, I'm excited to see what him and John Mechie do. Our tight end room is cool. Our defense is solid, man. I hope and pray Chris Allen can come back this season. That's a tough loss. You know, he's one of our outside linebackers coming off the edge, but you know, you just couple that with the rest of our D line and Will Anderson, and man, I could go on and on. I'm just, you know, just to give you proper recap, you know, it was another dominant performance, but I'm more so impressed with some of the young guys who didn't get to play too much last year that kind of stepped up in the starting roles, and now they're, you know, producing. And you know, we have a whole new receiving room outside of John Mechie, and like I said, we had a receiver that wasn't even with us last year that came in, had over 100 receiving yards. And we had a few guys, you know, Slade Bolden, you know, a few guys that had impactful catches. So, you know, I'm excited for the season, man. And, you know, just excited for us to improve. We're going to have to when we play, you know, we're about to play Malik and them in Florida here soon. So we just got to continue to progress and get better, man.
Talk a little bit about Miami.
Ain't nothing to talk about, man. That's terrible. Like, I mean, if you knew anything, you knew Alabama was gonna win this game. Like, we got a homeboy Loso, a couple other homeboys that are like diehard Miami fans. You know, they real nostalgic when it comes to that program, because that program ain't really did anything, you know, since like the early 2000s. Literally, like 2001 was probably like their last good year, 2002. But I mean, like Kay said, like, I'm into recruiting, you know what I'm saying? So I know, you know, a lot of the players Bama get as well as my team, you know what I'm saying? Just because, you know, sometimes we'll be battling for them, you know what I'm saying? Alabama normally wins those battles. I will not lie, you know, but yeah, so like Bryce Young, like, I've been following a minute in high school, you know what I'm saying? Like, him and Clemson starting quarterback. I don't really want to say his name, but I'm gonna try it. DJ Uiagalelei. They had a lot of battles in high school. You know what I'm saying? He went to John Bosco. Bryce Young went to Modern Day. You know, like the top two programs out there in Cali. So I mean, if you knew anything, you knew Bryce Young was gonna step in and be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially sitting in the program for a year. You know what I'm saying? Soaking all that up, getting to play with the team, everything like that. Yeah, I mean, I seen the spread was, I think, 19 and a half or something like that, you know, going into the game. I thought Bama would cover. You know, I bet on Bama to cover. So, I mean, I knew what was going to happen. Miami, they're doing a little better job recruiting, you know what I'm saying? But it's the – what is that? It's the what's the word I'm looking for? Development, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they developing players how they should, you know. Derek King, you know, he's ex-Houston quarterback, you know what I'm saying? Got a lot of stats and accolades in college football. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but it didn't even look like he was all the way healthy. You know, he's coming off a leg injury from last year, you know. The game plan didn't look good, you know, a lot of quick screens and stuff like that, trying to get outside on Bama is just not going to work, you know what I'm saying? Surprisingly, Bama played a lot of cover zero early in the game, and they wouldn't even take no shots. Like, it was bad play calling, like they just wasn't ready, you know what I'm saying? If you know anything about college football, and, you know, their coaching staff and stuff, it's just the development side, it's not there, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, Avery can be on the sidelines, whatever, all he wants, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter, you know, until they get somebody in there that can develop the talent that they starting to get. Like, this is what you're going to see from Miami, you know what I'm saying, every week.
Included, was no surprise that Miami did not show up against Alabama. So
you don't even week 1 or 2, man. Like, that's just not a good matchup, man. Unless you got something coming back for real, man. Like, something that you was building off of, and from the prior season to the off season, but that's not. You don't want to play Bama week 1. It's never good.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I think W gave Bama like their last good week 1 game. Like that was a few years ago, and that's probably just because they didn't know what to expect from like Kevin White and stuff like that.
Word. Word. Well,
When
moving
they had
on. Go ahead.
we Florida State, that was a good game. No, I'm
The
not
first half,
Yeah, I ain't gonna front on FSU, but W definitely they had me nervous, but I'm like, all right, this shouldn't be this close. You know what I'm saying? But
W really only lost to y'all by like what, like maybe 2 scores.
yeah, I have to go back and check for sure. But
Francois was
close
playing
again.
good. Francois was, but didn't he get hurt that game? Something happened where y'all ended up pulling away from Florida State.
He did get hurt. I want to say.
I want to say he got hurt, but he was playing good in the first
for sure.
half. He was for sure.
I just want to show love. Yeah, I ain't want to, you know what I mean, make it seem like we out here.
But at least W, they went the distance playing good.
Kevin White was hooping.
Yeah. That's why I said that. But you're right. Francois wouldn't have got hurt. It probably would have been a 4-quarter game. He was dotting it up. I give you that for sure.
We're moving right in. Number 13, Florida gets the win against Florida Atlantic. How you guys feel about that? It was kind of close, not really, a little bit.
So I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't take much from it. The only thing I took from it was that our backup quarterback is probably more special than our starting quarterback. It's going to be interesting to see how Dan Mullen handles that. But as far as everything else, I mean, depending on who your bookie was, you covered or you didn't cover, because it was either 24 or I seen some 21 spread, you know what I'm saying? So if it was 21, you covered. If it was 24, you didn't. But he's not trying to show anything right now. He knows we played Bama week 3, man. You know, the first couple games are really easy games. You know, he wasn't really drawing nothing up or dialing nothing up. It was real simple run up. I think we ran for 400 yards versus FAU, you know what I'm saying, like as a team. So
y'all did for sure, right on the head.
He was just literally running the ball, doing vanilla scheme stuff. Like Dan Mullen's a schemer, you know what I'm saying? So like that's one of them games he doesn't have to really scheme or prepare for too crazy. You know, it was just about getting a lot of people touches, playing time, you know what I'm saying? Sharpening some things up. But our backup quarterback, Anthony Richardson, our starting quarterback's Emory Jones, you know, he's been waiting his turn, you know, dual threat out of Georgia. He was committed to Ohio State back in the day. He's supposed to be, you know, he's supposed to be next in line, you know what I'm saying? And I won't say that he probably doesn't, he probably does have a better grasp of the total offense, you know what I'm saying, besides Anthony Richardson, the backup. But Anthony Richardson is way more skilled than this guy, like, and it's kind of crazy. I think he ran for like 170, like something crazy. I have no takeaway besides it was what I thought it was going to be. Yeah, I'm mad they scored that little touchdown at the end to mess up the cover. You know, I'm a betting guy, you know what I'm saying? So y'all going to hear me talk about a lot of spread talk, you know what I'm saying? A lot of covers, all types of stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So I was a little upset about that. It got sloppy at the end. But it was what I expected, man, to be honest with you. It could have easily been 35-7, you know, 35-0 type game. You know, they just got sloppy at the end. Let them get 2 touchdowns. Yeah, there's nothing really to take away from that. Just a very vanilla scheme, vanilla game, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to get some kids in, man.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway, you know, was just their quarterback situation. You know, as someone that's about to play them, you know what I'm saying? That what's his name? Anthony Richardson. He had 7 carries for 160 yards in the tutty. You know what I mean? He threw 3 for 8 for 40, but I'm just looking at, you know, just like he said, how skilled he is, and you know, just how much of a threat he is, you know, from a dual perspective. You know, it's going to be interesting to see what Coach Mullen does, you know, with the quarterback room, because, you know, having conversations with him over the summer and even last year, you know, who's going to be the next guy, you know, and he would, you know, Malik was looking forward to Emory Jones, but, you know, that's the beauty of our programs, you know, similar to when we had Jalen Hurts. I had no idea. He told me about Jalen Hurts after the spring game. We watched it, but he was just like, man, what I'm saying? And now, not to say it's the exact same thing per se, but that's the beauty of having the programs that we have, recruiting the way we do, because we're so deep. You know what I mean? You never know who's going to come out of the fold and really compete for a position. You might think one guy has it on lock, then the next season, man, in spring or the off season comes out, plays out, and now we have, seems like it's definitely about to be a QB competition. So, because Emory Jones, he didn't play bad. I mean, 17 for 27 isn't bad, but he only had 113 yards and 2 picks. He only averaged 4.2 yards per throw. I mean, that's ding, 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 ding. You know what I mean? So,
all it was. Like I said, he wasn't. I know Dan Mullen, man. He's not trying to show nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's probably scheming a game against y'all. Like, I can probably put my life on that. You know what I'm saying? He's just ready to play y'all. You know what I'm saying? And just trying to tune everything up. But that's not a good look, though. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Just having the backup come in and play. And that's probably why he started sputtering like that. For real, like, our first 2 drives were like quick 14-point drives. You know what I'm saying? Touchdown. Then the third drive, he lets Richardson play. You know what I'm saying? And Richardson showing flash as soon as he gets in. You know what I'm saying? His helmet pops off like in the red zone. You know what I'm saying? He was about to score 2. He's about to lead the score drive 2. His helmet pops off. Emery's got to come in. Emery throws a pick. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Got you.
So he just probably felt the pressure. You know what I'm saying? And understandably, that kid younger than him. You know what I'm saying? And that kid, he just got something special.
He a true freshman?
He's a redshirt freshman.
Got you. Okay.
So he played in the total amount of games he could last year. Got you, in his redshirt. So yeah, he's nice, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? He do got to get better a little bit throwing the ball. That's probably why Dan Mullen will continue to go with Emory Jones. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Emory knows a little more passing scheme. You know what I'm saying? But some of them kids like him, we just gotta figure it out. Get the numbers in our favor and start running him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can always do that. But defense plays solid. I mean, I there's a couple players that I would like to see a different. Maybe let the true freshman, the 5-star Jason Marshall that y'all wanted. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably let him start on the outside. They got this guy named Avery Helm. He's from Texas starting. I'll probably let the freshman play over him, man. Just if you're gonna take your lumps, you know what I'm saying? I didn't like how Helm was in position a couple of times, you know what I'm saying? And then probably our star position. We got another kid from Texas playing the star. He's good, you know what I'm saying, but he's a little smaller, you know what I'm saying? So some of the plays, he was a little bit out of position. We might need to put somebody a little bit bigger there. But our defensive line, defensive front seven looks good this year. I can't say anything about them. Running backs, Malik Davis, he looks like he's back to his form. He's a senior, but if anybody knows anything about Malik Davis, like, he showed flashes his freshman year, but he got a knee injury his freshman year. So he hadn't really been the same since. We got Damian Pierce. He was the leading running back, leading rusher in Alabama a couple years ago. He had an offer from y'all too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all wanted him. Didn't go, but he's good. And then we got a transfer, 5-star transfer. He was #1 running back in the nation, Marcus Bowman. He went to Clemson. He played at Clemson last year, but he entered the portal after game 1 or 2, something like that, bro. So yeah,
probably seen, you know what I mean, ETN.
Yeah, you would think he would stick around, especially after what I seen from Clemson this week, bro. Like, I'm sure we might talk about them here in a second, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you would think he would want to stick around, you know what I'm saying? ETN was gonna leave,
For sure. And he's a senior anyway.
Yeah, what they got behind him wasn't it, you know what I'm saying? What I seen Saturday. But yeah, overall, just very vanilla, you know what I'm saying? I look like we have taken a little bit of stride, still got another week to get sharper, to really be able to compete with Bama, you know what I'm saying? So I would like to see, what we do this next week before before I give my bold prediction or here. Say we going to clip them.
Word. So great segue. Like you mentioned Clemson. We had a top 5 matchup. Georgia gets the best of Clemson. Number 5 versus number 3.
Yeah, man. I'm not like Malik in reference to not necessarily valuing Georgia. You know what I'm saying? I love their coach. You know what I mean? Coach Smart. You know what I'm saying? He was our D coordinator for years at Alabama. You know what I'm saying? So always one of the most loyal coaches. You know what I'm saying? So I understand, but real quick, regarding Georgia, man, they just displayed, that their defense is still stout. Him and I, he's discussed it in reference to Malik being well versed in recruiting, man. Georgia, year in and year out, if you all look at the recruiting rankings, you're going to see your Alabamas, you're going to see your Floridas, and best believe you're going to see Georgia up there 100%. I'm not exactly sure how, but every year it's not like they're all playing because they be pulling in some like top quarterbacks, but they don't always play them. You know what I mean? Which I think is kind of their issue currently now. Like I said, their defense is real stout, which they displayed that, holding the Clemson to only 3 points, but their offense is, yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about their offense, being completely honest. You know what I mean? That's been their kind of handicap these past couple years is that just lack of explosiveness from the offense. Again, it's not the skill positions, and he can attest, not the skill positions outside of the quarterback position. They got the bodies, the athletes, they got the running backs, they got the receivers. It's the quarterback, man. You know what I mean? And no knock to JT Daniels, but he went 22 for 30. So let's keep this in perspective: 22 completions with only 135 passing yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. You know what I mean? So, it doesn't necessarily make me worry or make me fearful. However, they do have a stout defense, so it's just something to think about, though. If that offense does improve, man. I seen what Malik said the other day. Florida and Georgia plays every year. You know what I mean? So y'all are gonna have to face them for sure, and answer that bell. But I do think that defense is stout, like I mentioned before. And in reference to Clemson, man, I won't put all the blame on their quarterback, even though DJ went 19 for 37 with only 178 yards, and he too, he threw 1 interception. But man,
that was the game.
Yeah,
it's big six. It's the only touchdown of the game.
Facts. It's gonna be interesting year for Clemson, but I still think they have a solid team. The ACC is wide open. As anybody that watched college football this weekend, it's very obvious. You know what I mean? That college foot is open. 3 ACC teams lost on Saturday. You know what I mean? So we're gonna see what happens with that conference. But yeah, back to the Georgia Clemson game, man. My biggest takeaway is Georgia's defense. The struggle is still on offense, you know what I mean, which is a big handicap. The way our game is just evolving, you have to be able to score. You know what I mean? So if you're telling me, you have a stout defense, but you're only scoring 10 points, I'm kind of kissing my teeth a little bit, because I know we're not just going to score 10. Like, it's just how we recruit, how they recruit, and just how the game is evolving. You have to bring in quarterbacks and skill positions that's going to be able to put up points. You might have to win a game 42 to 35, and we're prepared to do that in reference to Alabama. So,
yeah, my takeaway is Georgia's defense is like that. You know what I'm saying? They had a couple dudes that didn't even play, that are starters, to be honest with you. They still did that to Clemson. I think Clemson probably played themselves out of the playoffs with that loss. I know it hurts. It's tough to say that week 1. So, I mean, upsets could happen and they could get back in that top 4, but to be honest, they probably hurt themselves. There's no way they can get back in there. You know what I'm saying? Like Kay said, 3 teams in the ACC lost, and North Carolina being in the top 10, was one of those teams. So it's just like, where's their significant, big win going to come from? I don't think it was all on DJ. I think it had a lot to do with probably scheme for them too, man. I know they started throwing a little more, got a little bit better at throwing towards the end of the game. That's probably just the urgency, you know what I'm saying? But those running backs, they miss ETN a lot, man. And like, you could tell, like, those running backs wasn't even they might as well let the true freshman Shipley dude play. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he looked better than any of the upperclassmen, you know, as far as like at least getting out the backfield, trying to make something happen. As far as Georgia goes, Kay knows I'm not high on Georgia because Kirby Smart doesn't develop, and I'll just put that out there. You know, that's my opinion. I could put facts behind that to support that. You know, to support that statement. But he definitely gets them in, man. If I'm not mistaken, Georgia, if they're not one, they're definitely two as far as like most talented rosters in the nation, as far as star, you know what I'm saying, star ratings go, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to recruiting. But yeah, it's the same old story. Stout defense, you know, offense still left to be desired. You know, they do have a couple skill positions that they're missing. I know Pickens didn't play, and who knows if he'll even play at all this season. He had a serious knee injury at the end of the year. And then they had the tight end transfer, Gilbert from LSU. He's supposed to be a difference maker for him as well. But and who knows if that kid plays either. You know, he's having like personal problems. He's not even with the program, you know, so it's tough to say if they'll get it back on track on offense. You know, that's why you got to really, you know, I pride myself on really paying attention and knowing our conference and knowing, you know, not just my team, but everybody, you know, what's going on. You know, a lot of people were hyping JT Daniels coming into this year. I think he had like the third or fourth best Heisman odds, you know what I'm saying? And like that was based off of 4 games last year, literally the last 4 games of the season. And their best team that they played towards the end of the season was actually the bowl game where they played Cincinnati. And go look at those stats. I mean, I don't know what people was hyping it about, you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't play that good against Cincinnati. He had 1 touchdown, and that was the difference of the game, you know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure that came in the first quarter, you know what I'm saying? Everything else after that, it was very vanilla, very, you know, lethargic. Like it just didn't make sense how the hype about that guy, you know what I'm saying, was coming in, you know what I'm saying? So like I knew for a fact JT Daniels wasn't, you know, what they thought he was. You know, I just wanted everybody else to see it. You know, the media likes to push narratives, you know what I'm saying, before the season, you know what I'm saying, hype kids up, you know what I'm saying. And that was a top 5 matchup, so I know they wanted to put some extra oomph behind it, you know.
For sure.
But yeah, if you watch ball, man, and I pride myself on watching a lot of SEC ball, you know what I'm saying, a lot of college football, period, NFL, period, you know what I'm saying, but since we're speaking on college, I pride myself on watching a lot of it, you know what I'm saying. So I knew who the competition was, you know what I'm saying. I knew what those 4 games was that they was hyping, you know what I'm saying, and I knew the competition level of the teams it was that he, you know, he had his success against, you know what I'm saying. And it just wasn't, I knew it wasn't going to line up, you know what I'm saying. Not to say they can't get better as a team, like Kay said, you know what I'm saying, but it's looking like the same old story. If they play Bama, like I told Kay, they got the defense to do it, but you're going to have to score points, period. You know what I'm saying? It's not even the same Bama team. Bama's got their defense back again, but you know how the offense is clicking, you know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to score points regardless, and I just don't think they could keep up with, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully we can clip them when we play them in Jacksonville, you know what I'm saying? So they don't even got to play them, you know what I'm saying? We can get a rematch. But, yeah, I think their defense is literally one of the tops in the nation for sure. After what I've seen, it's definitely one of the tops in the nation. But you know, it's 2 units in football. Well, actually 3 units if you want to count special teams. You know what I'm saying? So you got to put that all together. You know what I'm saying? The defense ain't gonna win it for you. These ain't them times. You gotta put something on the board. And their defense is actually the one who put the points on the board for them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was surprised Clemson couldn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? I will say that, but I'm not surprised Georgia beat them. You know, I'm just surprised how they beat them. You know what I'm saying? Neither one of them scored an offensive touchdown.
Sheesh. All right. Moving on. We had number 16 LSU get beat by UCLA. UCLA is now 2-0. How we feel about that?
They almost blew the money. I had to cash out. Cash out on one of my bets, man. They almost blew the money. Shoot, man. I mean, if we want to talk about it, I'm gonna be honest about it. It looks like LSU is a product, you know, of Joe Brady. Let's talk about it, man. Like Joe Brady, if you know who that was, he came in.
You say expand on that a little bit.
Joe Brady, he came in 2 years ago and was the passing game. I don't even think they named him offensive coordinator when he came to LSU. I think he was just the passing game coordinator, and he came from the New Orleans Saints, helping them with their passing game. Prior to that, LSU won the national championship in 2019. If you watch that LSU team, you know, I know Kay didn't get to watch him because he doesn't watch LSU, you know, and I told him he was tripping for that season, like, because they was really good, you know what I'm saying? Joe Brady's a passing game coordinator, and he came in and he's the reason you seen the uptick in LSU 2 years ago as far as offense goes, you know what I'm saying? Anything prior to that, Kay can tell you, LSU's always had a stout defense, you know what I'm saying? Always get recruits in, but they were kind of like, you know, my Florida Gators for a while. You know, quarterback play was literally holding them back, you know, up until, you know, Joe Burrow had his Heisman breakout season 2 years ago. And it looks like they're, you know, back to the same old LSU we know of, for real. Like, they got a couple studs out there in the secondary, a couple studs on defense, you know what I'm saying, period. But defense isn't gonna win you games, you know what I'm saying? Like not in this time in college football. It can, but it's too many potent offenses, you know what I'm saying? And Chip Kelly, he's been there, I think, 4 years now. This is his fourth year at UCLA, you know, so he's getting his team. He's got some upperclassmen, you know what I'm saying? He's got a great transfer running back from Michigan who's running the hell out of the ball, you know what I'm saying? DTR, he's another one of those Cali quarterbacks that's, you know, that was highly touted coming out of high school. He just said happened to stay home, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like Chip Kelly is getting all his pieces in order, you know what I'm saying? He's got, you know, just everything's falling in line for him. And like I said, I thought LSU was going to win. You know, I thought they had something to prove, you know, that they wasn't just a one-hit wonder, you know, but it's literally back to the same old story for LSU. I can't even lie to you, man. Like, it's some type of defense, you know. I wouldn't even say the defense is as stout as it usually is, you know. But they do have Stingley and Eli Ricks, you know, both number one corners in the nation coming out of their classes, you know what I'm saying? So they got some talent over there on the defensive side, but that offense just it's not what it should be, you know what I'm saying? The wide receiver, Butte or Bouye, I don't want to pronounce his name wrong, but he's a stud, you know what I'm saying? He's probably like the only playmaker they have on offense, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, that was probably the biggest surprise to me. You know, I thought LSU would at least find a way to pull out a win. I knew UCLA would probably give them a game, you know, just like I said, just based off of experience, based off of Chip Kelly, you know what I'm saying, trying to get things in order, you know, got his guys, you know, buying in again. But yeah, it looks sad, man. It looks like LSU's back to the LSU of old, you know, a lot of talent, solid defense, but the offense isn't giving them any help. So who knows what games they'll win, what games they'll lose, you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, like that's just what it's looking like to me.
Sheesh. Cold-blooded. How you feeling, Cut?
Man, you know, not to be, you know, the guy that agrees here, but I mean, you know, that's our rival. So, you know, all I have to say is they ever since winning the national championship, they've been 5-6. Y'all wanted me to acknowledge that program. Okay, you know, that was one and done, you know what I'm saying? Now look, you know what I mean? It's right back to our regular schedule program, you know what I mean? So, you know, I do think the quarterback that they had, you know what I mean, Joe Burrow, you know, he was a transfer from O State, you know what I mean? And, you know, they had a deep team, man. They had some good receivers, you know, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. I think, you know, that program is always going to be able to produce good athletes. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of, developing them and, just getting everything to mesh, not from a chemistry perspective, but just from a production perspective as well. And, I'm just, I'm not too worried about them. Like I said, they are a rival, you know what I mean? I guess it would be good to see them improve. So, our game can have more hype when we play them. But yeah, man, I share those same sentiments, man. It just looks like that national championship run was more so a fluke more than anything. And, they've improved that in their performance in the post game since. So that's all I have to say about that, man. Like I said, 5-6 since they won it all.
Listen, man, I just go year to year. College football has more carryover than NFL for sure. You could be good this year in NFL and terrible the next year. But speaking on what he's talking about, he does feel how he feels about LSU. But me being a person who prides myself, I watch all the big matchup games. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Kay, he won't watch the game, you know what I'm saying, especially if Bama's playing. Me, I'm going to flip the channel back and forth. Like, I need to catch all good football, as much of it as I can. So I was trying, just speaking on what he's speaking on, like why he didn't want to acknowledge it. They were about to play LSU, and I was about to bet on LSU. So I was trying to tell him, like, they look different this year, bro. Like, I don't know, what's going to happen, They did end up beating them, but he's right, you know what I'm saying? Ever since then, ever since that run, they back to the LSU that we know of, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so that's a tough situation. I'd hate to be an LSU fan right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it definitely looks like a fluke Joe Brady, you know what I'm saying, saved this type year, But yeah, man, I can't disagree, man. They don't look good. They don't look good at all.
Man.
Word. All right, we got one more game to round out college football. We got Penn State, number 19, beats Wisconsin, right? Number 12, top 20 matchup. How you guys feel about that one?
Well, first and foremost, Wisconsin is like 0-5 against like their last 5 ranked opponents that they played. And it's the irony in it is Penn State started out the season last year 0-5, right? So I got a lot of love and respect for Penn State's program. One of Charleston's own, DeRee Pitts, committed there at one point in time, and I liked what they were doing as far as the program. So I always just kind of been observant of them. So I'm just glad to see that they were able to get a good win. I do think Wisconsin is a great football program and basketball too, but really football for sure. And I just thought that was just a defensive, juggernaut match the other day. You know what I'm saying? But I do think Wisconsin could have won if they could have, kind of shored up some of the mistakes they made in the red zone. You got to think, like, they had 4 red zone trips and only scored once out of all those 4 trips. So, if we could just get a couple more field goals, we're looking at maybe, a game that's tied going into OT instead of, a game coming at the end where you needed a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, my biggest takeaway is just, like I said, as a great defensive game. Wisconsin had opportunities, but they failed to capitalize. And, it's just good to see Penn State return to, I won't necessarily say, championship form because it's still early in the season, but it's good to see them taking steps towards being in contention again. Because like I said, they started the season out 0-5 last year. So that was good and big win against a ranked.
So, Penn State saved the money, back to bet again. I bet on Penn State. The spread was Wisconsin -5.5.
Wow.
To be honest with you, I still don't. I walked away from that game just happy that they covered the money for me. I don't think Penn State's really a good football team at all anymore. Their defense played outstanding. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just being real because, like Kay said, Wisconsin had a lot of red zone trips. You know what I'm saying? So it was it was amazing to see how they, the bend but don't fold, mentality that defense had, But I'll put some of that on Wisconsin too. Wisconsin still could have won that game at the end, and I still would have covered. So I didn't care, that Wisconsin was about to win. But they were like the 1 or 2 yard line, and they had a snapping mishandle, man. Quarterback snapped the ball to hand it off, and he dropped it, man. Yeah. He dropped it like 10 yards behind him, So they last possession, that's run games, year in and year out, So I thought they were about to win the game. Like I said, I didn't really care. I was going to win my bet regardless. But yeah, I came away from the game just thinking, Wisconsin is who I think they are. They look the same as like they always do every year. Kind of strange that they didn't capitalize in the red zone that much. But Penn State, they need something. Noah Kane, their running back, he didn't get to play last year. I think he got hurt like maybe the first game. He was a difference maker. And I forget the receiver's last name. I don't even want to say it on here to mess it up. But the receiver number 5, man, he got open like 5 times behind Wisconsin's defense. And I lie to you not, the quarterback hit him 1 time. And the 1 time he hit him, he didn't even lead him like how he's supposed to lead him, or that could have been a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you talking about Jahan Dotson?
Yeah, Dotson.
He nice.
He was behind their defense all game.
You special if you come across this. You nice.
But the quarterback, Sean Clifford, when I tell you he was missing everything deep, it didn't make any type of sense. Like, I was mad in the house. Like, it really bothered me. And I know it bothered him, getting open that many times and not being able to he scored. Yeah, he scored once. He scored once, but when I tell you,
he probably could have scored 5 times.
Like 3 times, like literally like 3 times. Like, he was behind the defense all game, and the quarterback was just missing him. So I know he was frustrated about it.
He cut like that.
But yeah, not saying Penn State isn't better than what they put out last year. Kay is right, you know what I'm saying? But as far as contention, I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
Not that Big Ten. Yeah, that Big Ten gonna be tough.
Yeah, I don't see it at all, to be honest. I think if they lined it back up with Wisconsin again, Wisconsin would probably beat them.
Yeah,
beat them handily for real. You know what I'm saying? So like, I bet on that game. That was a money game for me. But I didn't walk away, feeling too much confidence in, James Franklin and that Penn State team. They getting a little bit better. They got some of their talent back, like I said, with the running back and Dotson and everything. But other than that, I don't know. They just look all right.
So you felt like it was luck a little bit. Wisconsin beat themselves, basically.
Yeah, 100%. I think Wisconsin lost the game. Well, I can't say that because, like I said, I want to give Penn State's defense credit. To be on the field that long, that many times and only giving up, the points that they gave up, I will give them their credit. They held it down. But that's the only reason why Penn State won that game is because their defense held in there, especially when a lot of defenses, would have gave up. That's a lot of mental toughness. So I give them to them. They're getting better in that aspect for sure. But yeah, I think Wisconsin more so gave that away than Penn State really took it, if you ask me.
Word. Sounds good. I'm gonna kick it to you, Kay.
Yeah, man.
What we got next?
Transitioning, just be on the lookout for us on our next episode. We got more interviews coming, more content coming, more recaps coming, especially now, like I said, football season is full swing. Shout out to all the fantasy owners out there, all the people that's playing fantasy. It's a busy season, So if you are drafting, like, today's Monday or tomorrow, just be mindful of your draft board and your draft strategies, And, like I said, the NFL season is about to start, I'm a Niner fan, I'm sitting beside a Rams fan. They haven't beat us in 2 years, So he about to know the vibes real soon, And I'm just excited, I'm excited to see the NFL teams on, as well as, college, Roll Tide and, the high school circuit. And yeah, man.
We got way more playoff appearances than these guys.
There it is. There it is. But at the end of the day, who has more rings?
There it is.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to talk about rings, or y'all want to talk about these?
He ain't seen
You know
none
what I'm
of
saying?
those. Now he didn't see some Bama rings. He ain't seen none of those Niner rings. So don't even let him fool y'all.
Word.
Back in the day, you know.
It was, but hey, Unc seen them, you know what I mean? So look, I basically seen them. Unc seen them.
No.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It don't work.
No.
But you know, yeah, I don't think anything bad about the Niners. You know what I'm saying? They haven't beat us in 2 years. I'm a little upset about that. I put those losses on Jared Goff last year, 100%. Glad he's gone. As far as fantasy goes, you know, they tried to sabotage me and ain't wake me up for the draft last night. You know what I'm saying? But my auto pick held it down, and I kind of got
does have a solid team.
I kind of got one of the best teams. Little do they know. So
got a solid team.
So yeah, we'll see what happens this year. You know, I can't really say what I expect from fantasy. You know, that's week to week. I expect to see some of the dudes we know that's gonna ball. You know what I'm saying? Some of the rookie sleepers, you know, come out and help out. You know, yeah, you know, that's week to week. You know, that's production week to week. So it's just based on, you know what I'm saying, who you think is gonna be productive. You know.
For sure.
Where you guys know I'm no contest. I really don't care who wins the football game. I'm just gonna watch. So I'm just, you know, like I said, the vibes of football season is top tier to me. Fall is my favorite season of the year. And I'm super excited about these interviews that we have lined up. So y'all be sure to tune in, keep in touch with us, you know, keep tabs on us, because we got some special things coming for you guys.
For sure. And we appreciate, you know, all the feedback, you know what I mean? All the constructive criticism, all the opinions, you know what I mean? We welcome that, you know what I mean? You know, with all things get better over time, and we just continue to, we want to continue to produce and be consistent and be efficient and be proficient in everything we put out there. So, you know, definitely want to thank y'all for supporting us, and definitely, you know, follow us on Twitter and Instagram and, you know, Facebook, you know, at CSN the Network on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. We're at CSN the Network Podcast. So, you know, follow us and continue to support us, please. And thank you for listening. And this is CSN the Network with Kay, Dre, and Malik, and we out.
We out.
Yeah.